Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Leland Fly Fishing. I want to welcome you to Fly Tying Night tonight. I want to welcome you to like and comment on your favorite videos, even if it's just to say hi and reach out to us. I want to invite you to make sure and subscribe to our channel so you get future notifications of our new released videos in the future. For the pattern tonight we're going to be tying is the October spider caddis. You can tie the spider caddis to mimic any of your caddis patterns, but we're going to do it in the October caddis. So we'll go ahead and get started with that tonight. Tonight we're going to tie it on the ML053 in a size 12. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that hook in there. We like to fish this pattern at the beginning of a hatch, or during the hatch we like to trail it off our regular caddis dry fly pattern. Okay, so for the thread on this we're going to be taking and using a Rust A-Dot Semperfli Classic Wax. This is an amazing thread. It lays nice and flat so it doesn't build up a ton of bulk, and extremely strong. Okay, we're using a Stone Foe thread tension bobbin. This is the Elite. It's got a disc drag on it. This is an extremely effective bobbin. You can see it's got grooves right here for me to put my fingers. Gives me great thread control. And tonight we're going to tie and start roughly about 2/3 point on this hook. Secure that thread in. Okay, I'm going to use that tag end to make sure I'm getting nice smooth tight wraps. I'll go just in front of that hook bend and we'll trim that off. Okay, now we'll just go back to that hook bend real quick. This pattern doesn't take a lot of materials. It's pretty quick to tie but killer effective. Okay, so for the body on this we're using Rust Orange Wild Barred Turkey Biots. Okay, you can see I'm taking a lot of Biots off of here. You can get some. I use this other side more for nymphs. It's a little bit wider body, but I like these longer ones. You can prep these in advance, put them in a damp paper towel or in a little glass of water. I'm just going to moisten this Biot on my tongue. Okay, Biots are relatively brittle material. Okay, there's a ridge edge on one side and a non-ridge. It's got somewhat of translucent effect to it on the other. I'm going to tie this so that the ridge edge is on the top side of my hook and the non-ridge is on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to secure that in roughly up to my starting point. Now I'm going to create a little bit of a taper, so I'm going to go rearward again. Stop short of the end, forward. And then rearward again. Stopping short and forward. You don't have to do this. I like the look of it. To me it just adds to that fly. It's more for me than I think for the fish. We'll take and set that off here to the side. Okay. Now when I wrap this, I want to make sure I get that ridge of this Biot to lay on the back. Okay. Now you can put super glue in to help secure the Biot in. It does supposedly make it a more durable fly. I don't usually have an issue with it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and secure that in. Now I've got that secured in. We'll trim that off. I'm just going to lay a thread base down. I want a thread base on my hook when I wrap my hackle anyways. I'm going to just create that little thread base there. Okay, now I'm going to put in my thorax on this. So I'm going to put that dubbing wax. I use Wonder Wax. For the body on this, we're going to be using Vicuna Dubbing Hare's Ear Substitute. We're going to do the hot orange. I'm going to take a small little pinch of that. Okay, I don't need a lot. I'm going to kind of taper that out through there. I'm going to create a tight dubbing rope. Now I'm just going to take and create my thorax. Okay, I'm going to pull that back, wrap in front, give me a nice good tie-in point right there. Okay, now I'm going to take medium ginger hen saddle from Whiting Farms. You can see I've still got some wax on there. Okay, I'm going to pull one of these out. And there you have that feather. I don't need any of this fluff, so we're just going to pull all that fluff off. Now the reason I start at 2/3 is I really don't want to crowd the eye of this hook. Okay, so when I tie this feather in, I'm going to tie it in with my feathers kind of forcing, going downward naturally, stem going to the back. Okay, this is so when I wrap it, I'm going to get a nice clean wrap. But I want to remove all this hackle here on the side that's going to go against the hook shank, and this is going to give me a little bit cleaner tie. It's going to make it a little easier at the end of this tie as well. Okay, so you can see I've got quite a bit of feather on this side still. Okay, I'm going to pull some of that off because I don't want quite that many wraps. I caught my feather, I almost dropped it. Okay, now I'm going to pull them down so I have my tie-in point just like that. Take that tie-in point right there behind. A little bit of wax on your thread. It actually helps your thread grip that nice and good. Now I'm going to pull that back in front. Trim it off. Now I'll trim that stem down. I don't need it quite that long. It gets in the way. I'm going to use my Tie Flies Hackle tweezers. Okay. Now I'm just going to wrap this. I'm going to palmer this. I don't want to capture any of these fibers as I'm wrapping this hackle. Okay. So you're going to capture some, but this is going to help naturally push those hackle fibers rearward without me having to doctor them up so much in the end. Okay. Now I'm just going to take and secure that stem in. Now I'm going to pull that stem back and wrap over it a couple times. Trim that out. I'm going to kind of pull those back. I'm just going to create my head just with a couple wraps. Okay. Now I'm going to take my whip finish. I'm going to do a couple turns of whip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I'll snip that off. At this point I can put some head cement, I can put some UV glue on this, but this fly is done, it's durable. Again, I'm going to fish this either by itself on a swing just at the beginning of the hatch, or I'm going to trail it off of, you know, like a elk hair caddis. Never Sink caddis is another one, or the CDC Biot caddis. Any caddis pattern I'm going to trail this off of will be killer effective. So remember to make sure and like our video. Leave us a comment, even if it's to say hi. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to receive future notifications of future videos in the future. And we look forward to you joining us next time. Thank you. You have a great evening.